So, I was thinking about what video to make today, when something came to mind that in all honesty, I've never really put too much thought into, and as I'm sure you can tell by the title, this thought was what was Triss's life like in Kovir, be this with Geralt or without. Now, for today's video, I will go over the very basics of what the Kingdom of Kovir is like for both normal citizens and mages, and then I will discuss how Triss's situation may be a little bit different. To begin with, Kovir is not only the most northern kingdom in the continent, but it is also the richest. Kovir acquired this great wealth through its abundance of natural minerals and its great acceptance of unorthodox methods, such as using magic much more in day-to-day life and it being more widely accepted. Unlike the other northern kingdoms, Kovir accepts all and is very much against any form of discrimination. It is for this reason that many of the great philosophers and craftsmen moved there, because they are able to work without interruption. For example, in the other northern kingdoms, questioning religion or using magic can be seen as a great offense to some organized religious groups, so it is suppressed. This in itself can stunt progress. Anyway, the normal citizens of Kovir generally are in better positions than most in other countries. There are a lot of rich people in Kovir, but equally there are those that aren't in as great a position, but generally those that aren't in as great a position are still in a better position than the peasants from the other kingdoms. As for mages, in this kingdom they are allowed to explore magic in full, so as long as it doesn't endanger people, they are free to do whatever they want, pretty much. So the reason I told you all that is that I hope you all have a basic impression that this place is pretty much like a haven for mages, at least in comparison to most of the other kingdoms, and generally Kovir is much more of an accepting place. So, moving on to the question in the title, what was Triss's life like in Kovir? I personally believe that she would have had a great life in Kovir, because not only would she be able to use magic more freely, but she also became advisor to the king of Kovir, King Tancred. As advisor to the king, she would have many responsibilities, mainly advising him, but not just advising him on the general affairs of the kingdom, but also on matters concerning magic. I mean, think about Triss's situation after the assassination of King Foltest in The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings. She went from being the advisor to the king of Temeria to having to spend most of her time hiding as a fugitive in Flotsam, only to eventually be kidnapped by Letho, and then she was compressed, and then after being set free, she was persecuted by the witch hunters. So since losing this position with Foltest, she's had it rough, to say the least. And the fact that at the end of The Witcher 3, this character, regardless of whether she ends up with Geralt or not, gets to be happy, or at least in a position where she can feel as if she's accomplishing more than just hiding and constantly running. She gets to be the advisor to arguably the most powerful king in the north. And I honestly think that she's earned it. If Geralt does end up with Triss, all the above is still true, but with the added benefit of not only Geralt, but a holiday home in Tucson. Geralt and Triss, as said at the end of The Witcher 3, if Triss is romanced, then spend the rest of their life together, Triss earning a small fortune as an advisor, and Geralt taking the occasional contract, more out of habit than anything else. One point I would like to mention is that if in your ending of The Witcher 3, Nilfgaard takes control of the northern kingdoms, I would imagine that despite Kovir being neutral and being fairly well defended, that Nilfgaard would attempt to invade it eventually. But what I will say is that based on what was said at the end of The Witcher 3, if Nilfgaard do eventually invade, I imagine it would be sometime after the deaths of Triss and Geralt, and that's assuming that Triss and Geralt say die of old age. Anyway guys, that's the end of today's video. I hope you've all found it interesting. This is just something I've been thinking about recently, and I thought it'd be fun to make a video on it, so here's the video. I hope you've all enjoyed. As always, if you want to see more Witcher lore, if you enjoy these sort of videos, be sure to like it. Also put suggestions down below. I really do read every comment. It might take me a few days to reply to them, as honestly, it starts to stack up and things, and it sort of gets out of control, then I just reply to them as quickly as I can, and I do read them all, and I have a really cool time, so I'd really appreciate any ideas, as it's always fun to hear what you guys want and what you think. Also, be sure to subscribe if this is the first video you're finding on my channel. I'll be sure to do more Witcher lore soon, Middle-earth lore, and plan to do some Elder Scrolls soon, so we'll see how that goes. And also be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm sure you know why at this point. Thank you all so much for all of you that do that. That's very kind of you. Be sure to follow me on Twitch. Yet again, same thing. I play games in there and all the rest. Thank you all so much for doing that. And also, as always, a big thank you to the the Patreon pledges. You guys are honestly amazing. I just want to say thank you all so much. If you want to donate to me on Patreon like all these awesome people, there's a link down in the description. You get a cool rank on Discord and all the rest, and it's just kind, so thank you all so much if any of you want to do that, and to all of you that have done that, you're all honestly amazing. Anyway guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Have an awesome rest of the week.